There's a lot of sentiment right now that maybe the AI honeymoon is coming to an end. I
Yeah.
know we're talking a lot about that. Maybe walk the audience through what we're thinking. What are your thoughts? What are we seeing out there?
Yeah, I don't know if the AI honeymoon is coming to an end, but we talked about a rotation, right?
Mhm.
And so if you look at what was driving markets, you had a lot of chip makers. NVIDIA is a
Yep.
perfect example, right? You had a lot of chip makers. You had this abundance of excitement about
Right.
where it was going. And so now what is happening is there's been so much capital expenditure, meaning companies investing in AI.
I think the hyperscalers are spending like $520 billion.
It's
On it.
an astronomical
yeah,
amount of
it's
money.
huge.
And so what's happening now is you're starting to see, okay, real cash is being outlaid. People want a return on that investment, whether it's an individual and it's in a portfolio when someone's investing and or these companies. And so what you are seeing is this rotation from the excitement of the chip
the hype.
manufacturers and all of the hype that happened. And again, we've talked about it some of our previous times that we've been together. They're priced for perfection as well, right? So you have that pullback. You have the markets looking for how do we get ROI, return on investment,
Right.
on the capital expenditure that's going out. So do I think the AI honeymoon is over? I don't think it's over. I think it's adjusting. I think people are allowing common sense to kind
Yeah,
of
you got to
infuse
justify.
back into the markets
Justify
and
the values.
justify what's being done. And a lot of the valuations that were out there, Craig, when you look at them, from a common sense standpoint, people kind of take it like, man, is that real?
Yeah.
Can that really happen?
Again, a lot of hype.
Yeah, a lot of hype. So I just think you're seeing a leveling back out, a rotation in where AI is going. I can tell you AI is not going away. Right. And so this small little correction in some of the AI positions and the AI companies is healthy. I think we're just kind of getting our framework and our balance on where we're going from this point forward. And then still, who knows what's going to happen the rest of this year and many years after that. But AI is definitely here to stay.
I agree. I think there's less talk about this whole bubble and just justifying, to your point, the expense. Where's the profitability and how are industries going to adopt this for efficiencies and profitability for them?
You mentioned bubble. And I heard someone the other day talking about a bubble. And when we hear that, we think of a bubble popping, right? And there's a lot of fear that can come from a bubble. Oh my gosh, everything's is gonna crash. I think what a lot of people are referring to when they're saying, is this a bubble, is when things are priced for perfection, then when you have small tweaks that happen, you have large swings in the market, big volatility. And so, is there a crash out there? Nobody can predict what the markets are going to do, right? Investing always involves risk. You're going to have volatility, but it was unsustainable for a lot of these companies the way that they were priced prior. Where I think the AI, the whole phase and the segment is going, a big transition to power. How is this going to be powered?
Huge.
Right? And so that's
a lot of opportunity.
A lot of opportunity, but that's a lot of the things that we're looking at. And you are seeing a rotation in this kind of AI honeymoon from what was chip manufacturers now to how do we monetize it, right? How do people make money from AI? And then how do we power this going forward? Because the grid can't sustain what it is right now. There's a massive amount of power that's going to have to come on the grid.
It's going to affect policy. It's going to affect geopolitical relations, all sorts of things.
All sorts of things.
It's
an exciting time.
It is.
I think back of, people that are much older than we were and what they lived through and what they saw during their lifetime.
Incredible.
And for us to be living through this kind of AI renaissance, it is going to be a sight.
It's going to be exciting. If you'd like to learn more, check us out at prevailiws.com.